It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to the Science Bowl. Today, 6 outstanding young people from 2 schools to play our game. Let's meet them now. First from Mattaponi Elementary School, here they are, Nora Bachman, Sierra Sweeney, and Miles Chandler. And from Yorktown Elementary, let's meet our players, Ryan Keller, Cedric Gillis II, and Joyce Chen. Now here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on the Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to how difficult the questions are. The easier ones are on the left, worth 5 and 10. The tougher ones, worth 15, 20, ultimately 25, the toughest question in each category. Both of our teams start out at 50 points apiece. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. At the end of the 2 rounds, one of these 2 great teams will come back to play our game again and perhaps advance to the semifinal elimination round. Let's make sure everything's working properly. Let's go to the red team. Sierra, try your buzzer. All right, nice confident push she's got over there. Good luck to her and to Miles and to Nora. And Cedric, would you push your buzzer? All right, he too has a nice confident push over there. Green team looks like it's ready to go. Good luck to Cedric and to Joyce and to Ryan. Are we ready, guys? Yes. Let's have a good game. We go alphabetically, M before Y. So Mattaponi, let's start the game. Sierra.
Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Teams in Hawaii, they make skirts out of this green thing that we here in Maryland mostly mow.
Grass.
Mattaponi.
Grass.
Grass it is. Grass skirts, and we mow the grass. That's right. I like your enthusiasm when you yell out, but make sure you push your buzzer first so we can recognize you. Sierra, go.
Zoo Parade for 5.
Zoo Parade for 5 points. Teams, one of the all-time favorite toys started back in 1956, Uncle Milton's farm, where you could observe these tiny social insects building tunnels in the sand before your eyes, Yorktown.
Ants.
Ants, yeah, Uncle Milton's ant farm. You can still buy it. You have to order the ants separately. Go green.
Let's get physical for 5.
Get physical for 5 points. Teams, even though it sounds like a legitimate chemical element, what ore was Superman's Achilles heel? Mattaponi.
Kryptonite.
Kryptonite, that's right. Krypton is the actual element. Thank you, Miles. Good assist there. Go red.
Body systems for 5.
Body assistance for 5 points. Teams, you know when kids come on Science Bowl, they got butterflies in their stomach, and they're usually a bundle of what? Nerves. A bundle of nerves. Go red. Not you guys. You're cool as cucumbers. Go red.
Dateline Science for 5.
Dateline Science for 5 points. Teams, recently the National Archives displayed in a case filled with nitrogen gas to prevent deterioration what important document that 150 years ago freed the slaves in the United States? Yorktown. Yorktown, who's our spokesperson there?
The 13th Amendment.
Not the 13th Amendment. That's a good try. Mattaponi, what document did the National Archives display recently in a glass case filled with nitrogen gas to prevent deterioration that 150 years ago freed slaves in America?
The Declaration of Independence.
Well, good try. The Emancipation Proclamation. That's a mouthful, isn't it? The Emancipation Proclamation and the 13th Amendment did that as well. Thank you, Cedric, for that. But no points. Good try. Go red.
Science potpourri for 5.
Potpourri for 5 points. Teams, when former President Teddy Roosevelt went down to the Amazon River and was sailing along, he said the most evil adversary that he encountered was this fish that if you stuck your finger in the water, could bite it off.
Piranha.
Mattaponi.
Piranha.
Piranhas, yes, he was afraid of those piranhas. He didn't lose a finger, though. Go red.
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, while trees do not have blood or lymph, they do have an immune system because they have this substance moving up and down in their vessels that fights off predators and parasites. Name that substance found in the trees. Sierra.
Sap.
Sap it is, absolutely right. Sap is the immune system there. She wasn't real confident of that, but she knows, hey, I got to try. I'm not going to lose any points. It worked out for you. Go.
Body systems for 15.
Body systems for 15 points. Teams, a multiple choice question. Teams, there is a new thermometer called the Exergen thermometer. It doesn't go under your mouth. It goes right here on your head. Because of its position, is it known as the temporal, occipital, or parietal Exergen thermometer? Temporal, parietal, or occipital?
Temporal.
Temporal, that's right. This is the temporal bone, and that is your temple. Good, go.
Zoo parade for 10.
Zoo parade for 10 points. Teams, a new book called Chasing Dr. Dolittle is all about learning to do this with animals by understanding all their grunts and squeaks and squawks. Yorktown.
Talking.
Talking to the animals. That's right, the famous song. Eddie Murphy, you might have seen it. Let's talk to the animals. Let's speak Pekingese. Go, green.
Let's get physical for 10.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Teams, if your teacher is trying to teach you about cryogenics, she is probably going to use the liquid version of this gas that if you put a rose in will freeze solid and shatter. Name that gas that can freeze things solid. Liquid version of it, Cedric.
Nitrogen?
Yes, indeed. Liquid nitrogen it is. Thank you, Joyce, for your assist over there. 75 to 90. We got a close game going here. Go green.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, if you ever go to Philadelphia, go to the Franklin Institute. They have a giant fiberglass model of this body organ that kids can crawl through from auricle to ventricle and out the aorta. What organ do they have in giant size? Red team.
The intestines?
Not the intestines. Yorktown, what giant fiberglass model of an organ is found in Philadelphia that kids can crawl through from the ventricles to the auricles and out the aorta? Yes, sir.
Heart?
Heart it is, absolutely right. The upper and lower chambers. I didn't know if you were going to pull the rabbit out of the hat there, but you did it. The buzzer has sounded. What a good first round. Let's check that score. Mattaponi, 90. Yorktown, 85. We'll break that almost tie when we come back in the second round. We'll be right back.
My name is Tim Lovett, and this is my American story. When I was in Iraq, basically a suicide bomber came up and tried to blow our truck up, and so I came back and kind of had a difficult time transitioning. I saw what the other guys were going through, and I wanted to try to make that a little bit better. One of the biggest difficulties that vets are having is when we're in the military, everything is a one-stop shop. What Vet Corps is trying to do is we're trying to strategically place people who've been through that transition and can directly relate to these individuals coming back. These men and women have sacrificed a lot and have gone through a lot, and they're going to continue to go through a lot because a lot of times we can't make it on our own. We need help.
Every one of us has a role to play in making our communities and our country stronger. Discover yours. Help us continue to make a difference in the life of our nation. Go to serve.gov and find the opportunity that works for you. This message is brought to you by the Corporation for National and Community Service.
I always thought being a good mother meant raising my baby myself. But when I got pregnant, I realized I wasn't ready to be a parent. So I did something I thought I could never do. I chose adoption. It was really hard, but I know my baby is with a loving family and has a very bright future.
Sometimes choosing adoption is being a good mother. Visit us at ichooseadoption.org.
Welcome back to Science Bowl. Nice to have you here today. Two great elementary schools. Before we ask any more scientific questions, a few personal ones of our contestants. Let's go first to Mattaponi. Sierra, you guys are doing really well. Now, I know you were here last year, so you've got some experience. How did you pick this team? How did you all come together?
Actually, we voted. We wrote down the first 3 people we wanted to be on the team in an alternate.
Yeah.
And me, Nora, and Miles won.
Wow, so it was very democratic. I like that. And who's the principal at Mattaponi?
Dr. Hay.
Dr. Hay. And the sponsor of your team?
Mr. Poya.
All right, and he will be out in just a few moments. We thank him for all of his hard work here today. And Sierra, did you have any alternates on your team?
Yes, we have Aaliyah Castle.
Okay, we'll bring Aaliyah out in just a few moments. Tell us about yourself. What do you like to do in your spare time?
I like to read, write. I play the piano, I sing, and I write songs.
And I know we were talking earlier, you aspire to be a scientist/musician, or musician/scientist, right? Where does all your musical talent come from? Are your parents musically inclined?
No.
No, you just through hard work. Just through hard work. That's great. And you are a 5th grader, is that right?
6th grade.
6th grade. You're a 6th grader. You're doing a nice job. Nice to have you back. Miles, nice to have you here. The Miles story. You're into video games and video game design. You said that you're a techie kind of guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you want to do? What do you do in your spare time if you're not playing video games?
I play basketball.
Basketball, yeah. Do you play for an organized team?
Yes, I play for the Marlboro Mustangs.
Wonderful. And how did you prepare? Why did you want to be on this show?
I was asked about it. At first, I didn't think I would actually make it to the team, but I kept practicing and practicing, and I'm here.
Yeah, that's right. And you are an example of what discipline does. And if you've got a dream, if you want to do something, you just have to work hard, and it comes true. Nora, nice to have you here. You're musically inclined too, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, well, tell us about yourself.
I play the flute in the Mattaponi Orchestra.
Yeah. And you have your own flute.
Yes.
You've been playing for about a year now, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What else do you do in your spare time?
I like to draw. My dad's birthday just passed, and I drew him a cake for his birthday.
Wow, I bet he appreciated that. Yeah. Low in calories too, right? Yeah. And what do you want to do professionally someday?
I want to be an architect because I feel like that would be kind of artsy too, because you can draw the blueprints and figure out the designs.
Yeah, and you've got to figure out so many things. You know, you've got to worry about the weather and the way the sun comes up and the materials you're going to use. I bet you could design a beautiful building. We'll be on the lookout for it, Nora. Nice to have you back. Great smile, too. Yorktown, nice to have you with us today. Tell us about Yorktown. Who's the principal there, Cedric?
Miss Terrence Savoy.
Miss Savoy, and I know she is behind you. And who's the sponsor of your team?
Miss Elizabeth Chamberlain.
Miss Chamberlain has been with the Science Bowl for many, many years. She has been a judge and a sponsor, and she's just wonderful, and we appreciate all the work that she has done for us and continues to do. Do you have any alternates on your team?
Yes, we have Bonke Abasi.
Wonderful, and we'll bring the alternate out in just a few moments. And Cedric, tell us the Cedric story. You're also musically inclined, aren't you?
Yes.
What do you play?
I played violin and saxophone.
Saxophone. And you have some experience on television. I know Joyce has been on the morning announcements. I think Ryan has as well. What about yourself?
No.
You'd never know it. You've got a lot of cool, calm composure out here today. What do you want to do professionally?
I want to be an architectural designer.
Wow. Now, Nora wants to design buildings. Do you envision yourself doing the same?
Yes.
That would just be great. There's some amazing buildings out there. You know, architects are always trying to one-up each other, it seems. You keep up your nice work. Ryan, nice to have you here. Young man who plays football and soccer. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Wonderful. And you play for, the Bowie?
Bulldogs.
Wonderful. And why'd you want to be on the show?
Because I really want to be in front of the camera and I really like science.
Yeah, boy, That's a good reason to be here. And you obviously know a lot about science, too. How do you know so much?
I practice and I listen in science class.
Listening is so very important. Talking is important, but so is listening. And what do you want to do someday professionally?
I want to be a sports commentator.
Yeah, I think you'd be good at that. I can see you doing that. You've got that experience as a morning announcer. And Joyce, you've got a lot of nice presents. I love your enthusiasm. You seem to really like this game.
When I was watching it online on YouTube, I answer the questions at home, and then when we had this forum and it says, do you want to join Science Bowl, and I filled it out, and now I'm here.
Boy, we're so happy you did, and I can see why you're excited, because this is where you wanted to be, and you know an awful lot about science, too. Tell me about what you want to do later on in life.
I want to be the first female president of the United States.
Absolutely. She was talking to us before, and I said, President Chen, what would you do the first thing after you were inaugurated? And you told us you want to do something for the homeless, right? Absolutely. The people that oftentimes are forgotten in this society. Nice young lady. Mature young lady. Let's get back to our game. 85 for Yorktown, 90 for Mattaponi. Lots of points to give away to anybody's game. Start us out, Cedric.
Science potpourri for 10.
Science potpourri for 10 points. Teams, it turns out that primitive man had some tough times eating, because even back then people were intolerant of what sugar that is found in milk. They were lactose intolerant. Lactose intolerant. You've heard of that before, yeah? Where you can't eat cheese or milk or ice cream. It can be tough. Go green.
Dateline science for 10.
Dateline for 10 points. Teams, probably the most famous scientist that's alive today, taught us a lot about quantum cosmology and black holes, but he's most famous for sitting in a wheelchair and suffering from Lou Gehrig's disease. He has done that his entire adult life. Who is that famous scientist who appeared recently on The Big Bang Theory and The Simpsons? Stephen J. Hawking. Stephen J. Hawking is his name. Go again, please. Green.
Zoo parade for 15.
Oh.
Zoo parade for 15 points. Teams, if you have a praying mantis egg case and you bring it in your house in the winter, it will hatch. You'll have hundreds of little praying mantises all over the place, but not for long, because they eat each other. A practice that is known as what? If you eat each other. Sierra.
Cannibalism?
Yes, they are cannibals. Absolutely right. Good answer. I could see Nora over there. I could see the light bulbs going off. Good answer. Go. Red.
Green things for 15.
Green things, 15 points. Teams, one of the oldest trees on Earth is an Australian beech tree that keeps producing more and more and more trunks. It's about 12,000 years old. What asexual means of reproduction causes these extra trunks to keep being produced? They are identical to each other. Cloning. Cloning. Identical was your clue there. Go red.
Let's get physical for 15.
Let's get physical for 15 points. Teams, the U.S. Mint is thinking they might redesign our coins, putting different metals in the pennies and the nickels. Problem is, vending machines don't like change, because they interpret the size and the weight and what attractive quality of the metals that are in the coins. Yorktown.
Magnetism?
Yes, the magnetic quality changes if you change the metal. And that means if you're trying to get your soda, you might have some problems. Go green. 100, 105, very close. Green.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. Teams, mistletoe is alive in the winter on the bare branches of an oak tree, because unlike the oak tree, which is deciduous, mistletoe is what kind of plant? Sierra?
Coniferous?
Conifer, that's right. It's an evergreen. Yes, ma'am. You all knew that one. Go red.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems for 20 points. Teams, you know the singer Adele? She recently had one of these growths removed from her vocal cords. A growth that has what same name as the little animals that produce coral reefs. Polyps. Polyps. Polyps is the name of those growths. You can have them also form in your intestines. All right, go red. Still a close game.
Science potpourri for 15.
Science potpourri for 15 points. Teams, when an iceberg falls off of a glacier, that process has what same name as a cow giving birth? Nobody going to try? Calving. Calving. A mother cow has a calf. A glacier has an iceberg. It's called calving. Try again, red. Don't overthink them. Go.
Dateline science for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Teams, listen to the clue. The fastest spacecraft ever made traveled at 157,000 miles an hour. It was launched back in 1976. Its name was Helios II, and it was aimed at what heavenly body? Helios II was headed to what heavenly body? The sun. The sun. Helio was your clue there. Helio was your clue. Go red.
Let's get physical for 20.
Get physical for 20 points. Teams, listen carefully. If you're sitting in front of a roaring fire, what you're seeing is cellulose molecules dancing in the flames as two atoms of oxygen intercept one atom of carbon and form this gas. Yorktown.
Carbon dioxide.
Yeah, carbon dioxide. One carbon, two oxygens. You get carbon dioxide gas being given off. I saw light bulbs go off over there, too. 120, 125. Come on, green.
Zuperate for 20.
Zuperate for 20 points. Teams, your question is as follows. What insect is known as a mosquito hawk? And back in the Jurassic Park times, it used to have a 2.5-foot wingspan, this insect did, and it would hover over the Jurassic swamps like a helicopter. Name that insect.
Cicada.
Not a cicada. Good try. Back in Jurassic Park times, it had a 2.5-foot wingspan and would hover over the swamps, hunting mosquitoes like a helicopter.
Mosquitoes, just say
a dragonfly. A dragonfly. Dragonflies look like helicopters. Ah, it comes to you later. Okay, try green.
Science potpourri for 20.
Science potpourri for 20 points. Teams, old explorers like Magellan, who circumnavigated the globe, lost many of his crew because they died of scurvy. They didn't take along enough citrus fruits to provide the crew with what vitamin? Yorktown.
Vitamin C.
Vitamin C, that's right, indeed. Good, go, green.
Dateline science for 20.
Dateline for 20 points. Teams, you can't go to the store anymore and buy a 75-watt version of this kind of light bulb. You've got to get yourself light-emitting diodes or compact fluorescents because this I-initial kind of bulb in 75 watts, no more. Name it. Incandescent. 75-watt incandescent bulbs, the ones that Thomas Edison invented. All right, here's the situation. All the toughest questions are left. 125 to 140 is the score. Yorktown's ahead. Advantage Cedric. Go.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25 points. Teams, what term that means a covering for a doorway or even a bed is the same name as the leafy zone that you find at the tops of trees? Correct answer is a canopy. A canopy. A canopy is something that hangs over a doorway. The canopy is the top layer of the tree. Go again, green. We're down to 5 questions.
Super 8 for 25.
Super 8 for 25. The big one in that category, teams, is as follows. You know, to differentiate mammals from reptiles, some people say mammals are warm-blooded and the reptiles are cold-blooded. The more scientific way of saying it is mammals are endotherms and reptiles are these. Come on, Sierra.
Nondotherms.
Nondotherms is a good try. If mammals are endotherms, meaning they are warm-blooded, reptiles are these, meaning they're cold-blooded.
What's cold mean?
Come on, guys. Ectotherms. Endo is inside, ecto is outside. Their temperature is determined by the ambient temperature of wherever they're living. Okay, Green, you have a lead, but it could disappear in a moment. Go.
Let's get physical for 25.
Get physical for 25. Look at the monitor in the studio. This is a visual question, teams. Teams, even better than counting tree rings or looking at the cores of ice taken from glaciers, a good way to determine what life was like in the past is to look at the rings produced by these stony, upside-down icicles found in caves. What do we call these upside-down icicles found in caves? Come on, Sierra, you can take the lead with this.
Stalagmites?
Yes, indeed. Stalagmites or stalagmites, absolutely right. Good, go. Red.
Body systems for 25.
Body systems for 25 points. Teams, listen carefully. If you have a parasite that is subcutaneous, where in your body is that parasite? If it is subcutaneous, where is the parasite? Come on, Cedric.
Kidney?
Not the kidney, no. A subcutaneous parasite means the parasite is where, Sierra?
In your stomach?
Sub means under, cutaneous means skin, under the skin. The buzzer has rung. Our game is over. It looks like barely Mattaponi has done it. We'll be back with a wrap-up in just a moment. Don't you go away.
I knew I needed help paying for college. I've always wanted to be a teacher. I used to make worksheets for my friends to do. No one ever wanted to come over. My guidance counselor told me about federal student aid, and my mom helped me fill out the free application. I got the grants and loans that made school possible. There is a way to pay for school. You just have to find it. My name is Caitlin. I'm going to be a special education teacher. I'm going to live my dream.
Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed this game at home as much as we did here in the studio. We had some tough questions, but we had some tough competitors as well, and we're very proud of all of our players. Our final tally today, it's a nail-biter. Yorktown 140, Mattaponi 150. Give yourselves all a nice round of applause. You did a great job today. Nora, Sierra, and Miles, and Aaliyah, the alternate Mr. Puglia, congratulations. We're going to see you against Montpelier in the next game. Let me see big smiles over here. You guys had so much enthusiasm and talent. Ryan and Cedric and Joyce and Donovan is back there. Annie, Kate, Arabanki. Miss Chamberlain, thank you for doing this for us yet again, and thank you for watching on Science Bowl. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.